Hello, and welcome to the Nutritics Supplier Portal webinar. My name is Drew, and today I'll be guiding you through how to use the Supplier Portal. Before we get started, here's why the Nutritics Supplier Portal matters. Using Nutritics optimizes and digitizes your product data while centralizing it into one secure place, cutting duplication, reducing errors, and making updates easy. It helps you stay compliant, but more importantly, it helps you stand out. Verified, accurate data builds trust with food service buyers, as it ensures they have real-time data on your products, which speeds up recipe and menu development for them, and strengthens your position in tenders. The portal directly integrates with client systems, making you a more valuable partner. And it can be used as a value add to get more business. Whether you've 5 products or 5,000, today we'll show you how to get the most from the platform. Now let's look at the portal itself. When you log in, you'll see in the top right corner that there's Settings, Support Center, and Logout options. In the top left, you have the Start button, the search bar, and the My Foods list. The My Foods list is where you can view all your existing foods and previously submitted products. You also have folders where you can organize your foods into groups if you want to keep things tidy. Then there's the My Products section. This is where you manage your published products, plus any new uploads, including batch imports and exports. From the Start menu, you can also access batch import and batch export tools, which we'll cover shortly. Later, we will cover how to add multiple products at once via our batch tool. But let's start by adding a new product manually. This example is for one food. Looking closely at one food first will help you understand the types of data points associated with food items added to the system. You'll likely use a batch upload function for initial onboarding, so we'll cover uploading multiple products at once afterwards. So click the Start button at the top left, and then select New Food. You'll be asked whether your data comes from one product, label, or another source, like lab analysis. Next, enter the product name. For example, Gronia's almond butter, and an optional description. Such as brand name or flavor. These help with searching later. And then choose the most appropriate food category. In this case, it's nuts and seeds. This also affects the cooking methods available if the product is used in recipes. And confirm whether the nutrition data is per 100 grams or per serving using this drop-down link. Now we can enter the nutrition information exactly as it appears on the label. You can also click Show Extended Nutrients if you want to add extra nutrient details. So I'll just copy exactly what it's like on the label. Once complete, click Submit. After submitting nutrition data, scroll down to the Validation and Publishing panel. Any information that is required but missing will be flagged in orange. Click Fix This to update missing fields, like ingredient list, portion size, or product code. Optional fields will be marked with a blue exclamation mark. For example, missing cover photo or country of origin. Let's cover fixing or adding an ingredient list as an example. So click Fix This next to the warning for missing ingredient list. Or you can scroll down and You can scroll down to the ingredient list tab and click the pencil icon. You can type or paste your ingredients into the box. For example, this recipe is 100% roasted almonds, and it may contain peanuts. If your product is a single ingredient, like an apple, you can click this instead, which is a single ingredient food. Next, click Scan for allergens to let the system detect allergens in your ingredient list and approve any allergens flagged before proceeding. One moment. So you click Scan for allergens and update and approve. Another field you may need to revise is adding portions or pack sizes to your product. Click Fix This next to the warning for missing portion size, or scroll to the relevant tab and click the plus icon. Enter the portion name. This could be 1 serving, 1 pack, or 100 grams. Enter the weight of that portion, for example, 15 grams. Add a unique product code or SKU. If you don't have one, you can auto-generate it. Once you correct the relevant errors or missing information, you'll be able to publish your product live. So go back down to the Validation and Publishing panel and click Recheck. For common single ingredient foods like fresh produce, you don't always need to enter data manually. You can click Start and New Foods to begin creating a new food. Before inputting any information, search for the item in the Nutritics database on the left side, for example, apple. Drag and drop the relevant food into your workspace and choose which data to import. Overwrite existing data if necessary, and complete mandatory details like short name and pack size, etc. And then you can publish as usual. The Nutritics batch import feature allows you to bulk upload your food data in bulk using our predefined Excel template. This can be used for new items or for re-uploading changes to existing items. Let's run through how to upload new items in bulk. So from the Start menu, select the title to Batch Import. Then download the appropriate template, which is Foods. Within the Save template, populate the data for the food, which require importing. And I will share my screen now and show you. Within the there will be a lot of columns that require completion. So as a general rule of thumb, if there is an asterisk in the column header, this is mandatory information that you must fill in. Whilst it is not mandatory for publication, You might want to add other pieces of information for your customer to view, such as storage instructions or country of origin. So I'll enter the supplier code. Please note the other following key things. ID will not be populated once imported or exporting data. This is the Nutritics ID, so there is no need to enter data here. And supplier code is for your own SKU or product code. The category column is predefined to Nutritics food categories. This cannot be your own local categories or product hierarchy for items. Please select from the options provided within the Excel sheet in this section. If the food is a single item, for example, apple or rice, whereby no ingredient data is needed, instead populate column I with yes from the dropdown. Or you can also say no. If you have portion or pack information to provide alongside the per 100 grams values, please populate the columns or to AD. The dietary preference columns are also predefined. Please populate with either yes, no, or blank if unknown. For the alcohol column, products containing alcohol in the amount necessary for regulation, for example, more than 1.2% by volume for EU, should be marked as yes. The allergen columns are predefined. Please only populate using the available options of contain, contains, or may contain, or leave blank if the allergen is not present. For sulfites, there will also be an option to select contains less than 100 ppm. If the ingredient list would flag sulfites, but the food has been tested to show it is within less than the standards. Once the file is populated with the mandatory information, navigate back to the batch import area of Nutritics. Share my screen again. You will see that double verify allergens is turned on by default. We would advise you to keep this on, as it flags if there are any discrepancies between your ingredient list and nominated allergens. Then these will be flagged as errors, and an error report will be available to download and review and compare to your file. This option can be unticked to bypass errors at the import stage, but these will still need to be corrected in-app in order to then publish the foods to your database and make your products available to your end customers. If there are errors in the other columns identified as mandatory, it will not be possible to proceed with the import until these are corrected directly within the Excel file. These checks are to protect the integrity of the data. You can download the error report, and it will tell you which lines there is an issue with and what the issue was. Errors might include allergen discrepancies, text in numeric fields, or nutrition inaccuracies. The successfully uploaded products can then be seen in the My Products section of Nutritics. So let's move on to the batch publishing section of this webinar. It is important to remember that your products will need to be published to your database after they have been input manually or loaded via batch import so that your customers can view and use them. Publishing can take place either directly within a food, like we previously showed, or in batch, which is what we'll cover here. Once foods are uploaded individually or via batch import, they are saved to a new group based on your upload date. You will be able to locate your remaining unpublished foods in the Nutritics Explorer under My Products and click on the Unpublished tab. Here, foods will be organized by live products and unpublished products. Click on a date to load all foods uploaded on the date, and the system will notify you of any changes that are required to make the food live. Any serious errors will be dictated by an orange exclamation mark. Click Fix Now under the list of errors, or right-click the food needing action and select View/Edit to open the food and make edits. If you have entered data in all the columns that had an asterisk, you should not have any errors. Once the required information has been updated, click Recheck to make all foods within this group live. Now that your products in your now that your products are live on your database and your customers are using them, let's look at how to maintain or manage them. You can use the batch tool from the Start menu to edit multiple existing products at once. So you go to Start, Batch Jobs, and then Batch Export to download your current data. Make edits to the allergen information, ingredients, nutrition, or whatever you need. And you can add a new ingredient to a product's ingredient list to demonstrate a change. So I'll show you what. For reformulated products, you can assign new product codes in the New Code column. Once you're happy with your edits, there's a small change we need to make to allow the re-import of the data. Remove the food print columns, which is column DW, DX, and DY. So DW, DX, and DY. And the modified date column, which is column B. From the sheet. And then save the template and go back to Nutritics. Switch to the Batch Import tab and upload your updated template. And then you can upload your updated template here. Once you're happy with your edits, customers will be notified and can accept or defer changes with an option to automatically swap old ingredients in recipes. Finally, let's cover how to delist a product and notify your customers that this is no longer available. One moment. So you can open a product and click Live Products to view all live versions. So when you open the product, you can choose delist above the item you wish to remove, or delist all if there are multiple versions to remove. Delisted products will remain in existing recipes, but show a warning for customers. Users will also be notified to replace delisted items. So that concludes our webinar for today. Thank you for joining, and please don't hesitate to reach out via our support centre if you need any help. You can access our support centre by clicking here, where you'll find support guides and helpful videos on all our features. So you click on the settings cog at the top right corner. Sorry, my screen stopped sharing. So you'll click on the settings cog at the top right corner. Click on support and training from the drop-down list. Then click on support center. Remember, detailed label creation and health claims are covered in a separate webinar. Check out the Nutritics website or email support@nutritics.com for more information. And I hope you have a great day.